Something interesting is starting to take shape around the New England Patriots. And if you have been following the recent moves closely, you probably noticed that one decision in particular has sparked a lot of debate among fans. The signing of Romeo Doubs has quickly become one of the most talked about moves of the offseason, and depending on who you ask, it is either a smart long-term play or an expensive gamble. But once you start breaking down the situation piece by piece, the picture becomes a lot more interesting than the initial reactions might suggest. At first glance, the contract numbers are what caught everyone's attention. The Patriots committed to a 4-year deal reportedly worth around $70 million, with the potential to reach roughly $80 million through incentives. For many fans, seeing that kind of number immediately raised eyebrows, especially considering the role Doubs is expected to play in the offense. Some people instantly labeled it as overpaying for a receiver who might not even be the clear number one option on the roster. But once you start looking at the current wide receiver market across the league, the conversation changes quite a bit. The reality is that wide receiver contracts across the National Football League have been climbing steadily over the past few seasons. Teams are paying significant money for players who are expected to contribute as second or third options in an offense, not just elite stars. In that context, the Patriots' deal with Doubs begins to look much more aligned with the market than many people initially believed. When you compare similar contracts given to other receivers around the league recently, the financial commitment suddenly feels far less shocking. Another major factor in this discussion revolves around the previous situation involving Stefon Diggs. When the Patriots moved on from Diggs, it created immediate questions about how the team planned to restructure the receiving core. Diggs had delivered some solid performances, but his contract carried a significant cap hit. Reports indicated that keeping him would have cost the team around $26.5 million against the salary cap for the upcoming season. Now compare that number to the estimated cap hit attached to Doubs in his first season with the team, which sits closer to $17 million. That difference alone represents a substantial amount of financial flexibility. In a league where roster construction often depends on carefully balancing salary cap space, saving nearly $10 million while bringing in a younger receiver can have a meaningful impact on how the rest of the roster is built. And that brings us to the second major element that cannot be ignored in this conversation: age. Doubs is entering what many analysts consider the prime stage of a wide receiver's career. At 26 years old, he still has room to develop, refine his route running, and continue building chemistry with his quarterback. That type of growth potential is incredibly valuable for a team that is still shaping the future of its offense. Diggs, on the other hand, is already in the later stages of his career. While he has remained productive and continues to be respected as one of the league's experienced playmakers, the long-term trajectory naturally becomes a concern when a player enters his early 30s. On top of that, there are always lingering questions surrounding recovery and durability after serious injuries, which adds another layer of uncertainty when evaluating future performance. This is where the Patriots' strategy begins to make more sense. Instead of committing a large portion of the salary cap to an aging receiver, they appear to be investing in someone who could grow alongside their young offensive core. The idea is not necessarily that Doubs is a perfect replacement for Diggs. Rather, it is about building a receiving group that can evolve together over the next several seasons. Another interesting aspect of this move is the potential chemistry with Drake May. The Patriots are clearly entering a new phase centered around their young quarterback, and every decision on offense is being evaluated through that lens. Bringing in a receiver who is closer in age and still developing could help create a more natural connection as both players grow within the system. From a playing style perspective, Doubs brings several qualities that fit nicely into the offensive structure the Patriots appear to be building. During his time with the Green Bay Packers, he demonstrated versatility by lining up in multiple positions across the formation. He can operate as an outside receiver, but he is also comfortable moving into the slot when needed. That flexibility gives the coaching staff more options when designing passing concepts and adjusting to defensive matchups. One of his most notable strengths has been his ability to create separation in the middle areas of the field. Route precision and timing have been key components of his game, allowing quarterbacks to trust him in situations where quick decisions are necessary. Those types of routes often become critical on third downs, where the offense needs a reliable target capable of finding small openings in coverage. There is also the red zone factor, which quietly became an important part of his role in Green Bay. DIGGS showed a strong ability to position himself effectively near the goal line, turning limited space into scoring opportunities. Touchdowns are often what define a receiver's overall value to an offense, and being able to contribute in those high-pressure moments can elevate a player's importance within the system. Of course, the debate among fans is far from over. Some critics argue that paying this kind of money to a player who might start as the second option at receiver is risky. Others believe the team should have pursued a bigger name through a trade, pointing toward players like A.J. Brown as potential targets who could instantly transform the offense. Those conversations continue to circulate, especially because trade speculation in the National Football League rarely disappears completely. As long as teams are adjusting their salary cap situations and exploring roster changes, the possibility of major deals always remains in the background. At the same time, there is another reality that many people overlook when analyzing off-season moves. Signing one receiver does not automatically mean the team has finished building the position group. Free agency still presents opportunities, and the upcoming draft could easily bring another talented wide receiver into the mix. That is why the DIGGS signing should probably be viewed as the beginning of a broader strategy rather than the final piece of the puzzle. The Patriots appear to be assembling a younger, more flexible receiving unit that can grow with their quarterback and adapt to different offensive approaches as the team continues its rebuild. And if additional moves follow in the coming weeks, the context around this contract could look very different from how it appeared on the first day the news broke. As the discussion around the signing continues to grow, another layer of the conversation starts to emerge, and it revolves around how this move actually fits into the broader plan for the New England Patriots. Because when a team signs a wide receiver like Romeo due to a contract of this magnitude, the intention is rarely limited to simply filling a roster spot. There is usually a deeper vision behind it, especially for a franchise that is trying to rebuild its offensive identity. One of the most important things to understand is that the Patriots are still in the process of shaping what their offense will look like over the next several seasons. With Drake May expected to be the centerpiece of the future, every offensive piece being added right now is being evaluated through the lens of how well it complements a young quarterback. That includes receivers who can develop timing, trust, and familiarity with him as the offense grows. DIGGS fits that timeline in a way that many veteran receivers simply do not. At 26 years old, he enters the building with enough professional experience to contribute immediately, but also with the kind of developmental runway that allows coaches to continue expanding his role. That balance is incredibly valuable for a team trying to transition from a rebuilding phase into a competitive one. Another aspect that should not be ignored is the role offensive philosophy will play in DIGGS usage. The Patriots are clearly looking for receivers who can line up in multiple spots and create matchup problems for defenses. During his time with the Green Bay Packers, DIGGS proved that he can operate both on the outside and in interior alignments, which allows the offense to disguise formations and force defenders to adjust before the snap. That kind of versatility often becomes even more valuable once a quarterback becomes comfortable reading defenses. A receiver who can shift positions within the same drive or even the same play sequence creates unpredictability, and unpredictability is exactly what offensive coordinators want when they are trying to stretch a defense across the entire field. Looking back at some of DIGGS' most productive stretches in Green Bay, one thing becomes clear very quickly. Whenever he became one of the primary targets in the passing attack, his numbers tended to rise significantly. When injuries or lineup changes forced the offense to rely on him more heavily, he demonstrated that he could handle a larger workload. This is why some analysts believe his ceiling has not yet been fully reached. In several games where he received increased target volume, his impact extended far beyond just catching passes. He became a chain mover on key downs and developed into a reliable option near the end zone, where timing and body positioning become critical. That red zone effectiveness is another factor that could play a huge role for the Patriots moving forward. Scoring efficiency has been an area where the team has struggled in recent seasons, particularly when drives reach the final 20 yards of the field. Having a receiver who has already shown the ability to find space in those tight situations adds a new dimension to the offense. At the same time, The debate among fans continues because some people believe the team should have pursued a more aggressive move at wide receiver. Names like A.J. Brown frequently come up in conversations, especially when discussing the possibility of a blockbuster trade. Players of that caliber bring immediate star power and proven production, which naturally makes them attractive targets for any team looking to accelerate its rebuild. However, trades involving elite receivers often come with enormous costs, both financially and in terms of draft capital. Giving up a first-round pick or multiple high selections can dramatically reshape the future of a roster. For a team that is still assembling its core, those decisions have to be weighed extremely carefully. That is where the upcoming draft begins to enter the conversation. The Patriots hold valuable selections that could be used to address several positions, including pass rushers, offensive linemen, and additional receiving talent. Many projections suggest that their first selection could be focused on strengthening the defensive front, particularly by adding an edge rusher capable of generating pressure on opposing quarterbacks. If that happens, it would leave the possibility open for a wide receiver to be selected shortly afterward. The second round of the draft has historically produced several impactful receivers, and adding a young playmaker to pair with Dew could completely reshape the outlook of the receiving core. Imagine a scenario where Dew develops into a dependable second option while a rookie receiver grows into a primary target over time. That combination could give Drake May multiple weapons who are all progressing together within the same offensive system. When that type of chemistry forms early in a quarterback's career, it can create stability that lasts for many seasons. There is also another factor that fans sometimes overlook during the chaos of free agency and trade rumors. Roster construction rarely happens in a single dramatic move. More often, it unfolds through a series of smaller decisions that gradually shape the identity of a team. The Dew signing might not have the immediate headline impact of a superstar acquisition, but it represents a calculated step toward building a balanced defensive unit. It addresses a need, provides financial flexibility, and brings in a player who still has room to evolve within the system. And when you look at the broader picture of where the Patriots are right now, that type of move starts to make more sense. They are not simply chasing quick headlines or short-term excitement. Instead, they appear to be focusing on assembling pieces that can grow together, allowing the offense to mature alongside its young quarterback. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to Patriots Hub and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest updates on our New England Patriots. And don't be shy, share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. The New England Patriots might be on the verge of shaking up their roster in a move that has immediately captured the attention of NFL insiders and fans alike. According to sources close to the team, a potential replacement for star wide receiver Stefon Diggs could already be on the radar, and the first name linked to this speculation has leaked to the public. While the Patriots have remained tight-lipped, the buzz surrounding this rumored target is impossible to ignore. Fans took to social media almost instantly after the name surfaced, with reactions ranging from excitement to skepticism. Analysts are already dissecting the possible fit, weighing the player's speed, route-running ability, and chemistry with a quarterback known for precision passing. If true, this move would signal the Patriots' commitment to maintaining a high-octane offense despite recent departures that left holes in their receiving core. The potential acquisition also raises questions about salary cap flexibility and whether the team is willing to make a splash to ensure they remain competitive in a league where elite wideouts are increasingly rare. The leaked name has sparked a wave of comparisons to some of the league's top receivers, with some pundits predicting that this could become one of the most talked-about transactions of the season. Inside sources hint that discussions may already be underway behind closed doors, though no official statements have been made. If the Patriots do follow through, it could redefine their offensive strategy, giving the quarterback a new dynamic target while keeping opponents on their toes. Meanwhile, fans are speculating not only about the player's immediate impact, but also about long-term implications for team chemistry and depth at the position. Social media trends indicate a mix of cautious optimism and outright excitement, with highlight reels and performance metrics being analyzed in real time. While nothing is confirmed, the intensity of the conversation underscores just how significant a potential signing could be. Patriots faithful are watching closely, knowing that a high-profile addition at wide receiver could alter the trajectory of the season and perhaps even become a defining moment in the team's ongoing pursuit of championship glory. For now, the rumor remains just that, a tantalizing glimpse into what might be the next big headline for the franchise. But with the immediate media frenzy and fan speculation, it's clear that the league is buzzing, and all eyes are on New England to see whether this potential acquisition will move from speculation to reality. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our New England Patriots, be sure to subscribe to Patriots Hub and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.